Good evening, everyone. It's Wednesday, and it is time for our Wednesday evening meditation where we spin into the stillness. I'm Reverend Rapanashak, and I'm so glad that you have joined us here on our first October meditation. You know, it's a great time to regroup and re-energize and just check in with ourselves. If you're just joining us for the first time, or if you're watching the recording for the first time, it's the opportunity to go into our deep self and communicate with the voice of that deep self. If you have established this meditation as one of your meditative practices for the week, it's the opportunity to check in with all of the intentions that we might have had throughout the year, throughout the time that we have been doing this together. So always just an opportunity to relax, to feel safe, to get to know ourselves and our interior selves just a little bit better. Now, we are prompted by the message that we receive from a set of oracle cards called the Osho Zen Tarot. As of now, it's what we're using. It's the deck that we're using. I find it beautiful and meaningful, and it has corresponding suits to the regular conventional tarot deck, but I love the Zen approach to those tarot archetypes. So we'll draw one card, and that card will have a message for us for the week. We might apply it to, the kind of global consciousness. It might be an individual response, but it is also a response to a question or an intention that we have set, which we'll do in a couple of minutes. But we want to really apply ourselves in some way to give a little bit of work to that deep self to do, or a little bit of work for us to do when we get into communication with that deep self. And so we just take a moment to set an intention for this evening's meditation. It could be a question that you're asking of the universe. It could be guidance that you have been seeking. You just want to know, what the next opportunity might be, or you might have a decision to make, and you just want to get a little bit of clarity. So our meditation allows us to go inside, and we might not get the answer to that question or have an immediate response to that request for guidance. However, we put it into motion, into the universe, so that that question can be answered and that guidance can be seen as we move through our week. We then take all of the messages that, or all of the intentions that we have set for either tonight in real time, Wednesday evening, October 5th, or whenever you may watch the recording. So you could be new and watching the recording, you could have clicked on a link. Whenever you've chosen to watch this meditation, that's the energy that we will gather and that will be placed into one slip of paper that I will write the words, everyone's intentions on. So I'm going to write mine down as my individual intention, as well as one that's going to gather and collect all of those intentions that have been energized during the meditation from all of you. And together we will watch that our intentions get burned into the flames. It is the way of sending our intentions, our questions out into the universe, allowing the universe to answer and respond in just the perfect way, so that we have perfect clarity, so that we can have those epiphanies, those aha moments, and most importantly, so we have the strength to make the choices that we know we have to make if we want to have change in our lives. It's all pretty easy. I just invite everyone to, well, first of all, to know that when We set our intentions first and kind of hold on to them, so you can write it down, or you can kind of imagine yourself writing it in the palm of your hand, or whatever you want to do to imbue it with energy is fine. Just know that whatever card that we draw is the answer to that question and is the guidance that we seek. So if I draw the card here and we see it on the screen and you're thinking, oh, I wonder if that's the answer that I was seeking, know that for the purposes of this evening's meditation, that it actually is. And so given that, that criterion, we all can decide how that card, how the message that we read from the book about the card, how the reflections that we have about that card are our answer or the guidance that we seek. It's kind of fun. It's like knowing that you have all that you need. You just have to be open to its revelation in your life, which is really exactly what is happening here. I invite you all to get comfortable in a way that allows you to be relaxed and yet still energized and still connected. Now, when we meditate, I know that we all kind of tend to go deep, and sometimes we drift off. I can tell you that, again, I guess most of us are in our home spaces. Excuse me, but I'm expecting a delivery this evening, anywhere from 5 to 10. Of course, I'm prepared for the fact that it can arrive right in the middle of our quietest point, which means that doorbell rings, dogs bark. Now, yes, that can be startling when it does happen, and we all know. I do think that we've been in our respective spaces for long enough now, since COVID has began, that we can instantly use that startling to take us even deeper, even more into ourselves, more, excuse me, more connected to ourselves. So it's a temporary kind of shock, but that shock actually kind of will push us in or pull us in a little more deeply. And again, we're used to ambient noise now. We're used to noises, the sirens and the car honks and the knocks at the door and the kids or the dogs or whatever may be going on. These are part of our life. So while it is much easier to meditate in a space that is devoid of anything else, the fact is we want to be able to access that stillness whenever and wherever we are, which means it could be in the middle of total chaos or in the middle of a pastoral setting, or walking along the beach. Regardless, our practice hopefully will help us engage and keep connected to our alignment, regardless of what kind of comes in front of us, if that makes sense. So with that in mind, let's take a moment to review or reflect of what our intention might be for this evening. And I'm going to write mine down, and then I'm also going to write down the one that says everyone's intention. So please take a moment, and I'll turn up the music a little bit, and we can all take your minutes. And so you can see that I have written down the words everyone's intention. So this is going to be the one that we charge during the meditation. It's going to collect all of that energy from all of yours, add it to mine, and then we're going to send it off into the flames. So it's time to draw cards. Shall we? Now, last week, our card was exhaustion. And the message really was to be aware of how we might be unnecessarily exhausting ourselves, depleting those resources by focusing on things that take us out of the now. So worry about the future, or regret about our pasts, or distractions from our material world. Again, our role is to not exhaust ourselves. Our role is to energize ourselves. And so I really enjoyed pulling that card as that little wake-up call to not be distracted by things that aren't going to help or move us forward. So, but sometimes, when a card like that comes up, it's, it hits you right there. And I invite you to really pay attention to what that visceral response is when I draw it. Like if it's a word that you are triggered by, or that kind of makes you feel uncomfortable, just note it. Because for me, even the most negatively appearing cards or messages from those cards is usually simply a wake-up call to either be aware of its possibility and therefore be able to kind of stave it off, or to know that you are moving through it. So there's no mistake. Can't make mistakes. We can be alerted to things we might want to be thinking about. And that's really how I consider all of these cards. So it's always an alert of this or something better. So let's shuffle. Here we go. I'm not a card player. I am now I'm a card reader, but I never grew up playing cards. I didn't play poker. I played Uno, I think, was the game that I used to enjoy with some of you who may be watching this evening. So, Kathleen. It was such a fun game. I never did the poker thing. Briefly got it. Like, used to watch, I think, the celebrity poker thing where I kind of got to know Texas Hold'em, but that's about it. So as a result, I'm not a whiz here, but here we go. Here we go. We're going to draw the top card because, again, that card is one that you can all see that I'm drawing. I'm not reaching in and pulling out my own intuitive selection. It's the top card. We all decide that it's the one. And the one for us this week is... Ooh, some of us may like this card. It is the Rebel. The Rebel. I've never drawn this card, so I'm intrigued to see what the card of the Rebel has to say. So put the card down. Take it to a screen where we can look at the card while I am reading about it. So let's take a closer look at the card. Got a good focus this week. So I see in the card, I see chains breaking. I see a torch that is lit. I see a person with wings and, someone who is going to be rebellious is going to be breaking free and soaring. So perhaps we are looking at that which is going to free us, free our spirit, cause us to soar, and it may require us to go against the grain just a bit. And as I said, no matter what we've asked, no matter what we've written down on that slip of paper, this is the answer. So how is it the answer to your intention or your question? But let's see what it says about all of us. Now, if we were looking at the Rider deck, this is a Major Arcana card. I prefer to give an artist's interpretation of these cards. They're due. So I don't really rely on necessarily going back to the Rider-Waite or the conventional tarot deck, but if you are interested, it is card 4. It's Major Arcana. So let's see what the Osho Zen Tarot book has to say about the card. The powerful and authoritative figure in this card is clearly the master of his own destiny. On his shoulder is an emblem of the sun, and the torch he holds in his right hand symbolizes light of his hard-won truth. Truth has been a theme for me in the last couple of days. Whether he is wealthy or poor, the rebel is really an emperor because he has broken the chains of society's repressive conditioning and opinions. He has formed himself by embracing all the colors of the rainbow, emerging from the dark and formless roots of his unconscious past, and growing wings to fly into the sky. His very way of being is rebellious, not because he is fighting against anybody or anything, but because he has discovered his own true nature and is determined to live in accordance with it. I have chills, by the way, as I read this. The eagle is his spirit animal, a messenger between earth and sky. The rebel challenges us to be courageous enough to take responsibility for who we are and to live our truth. Now, that word, truth, is one that for the last 3 days has been on my mind, and I'll talk about that more later. But just know that once again, synchronicities, truthfully, and often continue to leave me full of wonder and delight and just wow. So, more about the rebel. People are afraid, very much afraid of those who know themselves. They have a certain power, a certain aura, and a certain magnetism. A charisma that can take out alive young people from the traditional imprisonment. The enlightened man cannot be enslaved. That is the difficulty. He cannot be imprisoned. Every genius who has known something of the inner is bound to be a little difficult to be absorbed. He's going to be an upsetting force. The masses don't want to be disturbed, even though they may be in misery. They are in misery, but they are also accustomed to the misery. And anybody who is not miserable looks like a stranger. The enlightened man is the greatest stranger in the world. He does not seem to belong to anybody. No organization confines him, no community, no society, no nation. So breaking free of those chains means being free of the burden and limitations that tempt us in our world to not know ourselves or to ignore the knowing of ourselves. I'm so moved by drawing this card and its message today and its words, again, that align so much with the topic of truth and self-knowing in the last couple of days that I personally have been dealing with. That I'm a little verklempt. So I hope that synchronicity is something that everyone can relate to and have access to, because wow, an enlightened man cannot, an enlightened woman, an enlightened people cannot be frightened, cannot be harmed, can't be caged, can't be chained, because enlightenment comes from within, regardless of those outside circumstances. And so using those words, enlightenment, from within, personal responsibility, to choose this alignment, truth, all are themes that I think become central to whatever message, whatever question we have. These are in some way the answers all the time. So let's get comfortable. Let's take this message into our hearts and into our bodies so that we can go into a spiritual space, to an etheric space, to reflect on being that rebel, being that person who is going against the grain of what the world is telling us to think and feel, and to know who we are, to think and feel those things, those feelings, those emotions, those values ourselves. So hopefully you're connected to your space here, and let's start by just taking a few breaths together. We're going to start, and if you want to keep your eyes open for the first 2 breaths, we'll allow them to flutter closed on the 3rd breath. But just try to summon this breath with a total awareness while your eyes are open for the first 2 breaths, and then allow yourself to just ease into the first stage of relaxation. So let's do this. Nice, slow breath on the intake, and hold for a moment. Now exhale slowly. Again, think awareness, think alertness, think of just being integrated with the world that we are living in. Inhale and hold. Feel the collective conscious in that hold. Then exhale. Now our last focused deep breath together. Let's inhale and hold. Now as we exhale, allow those eyes to flutter shut. And if you can turn your eyes up just a little, kind of roll them up so that you are focused towards your 3rd eye. As you allow your breathing to return to a natural state, slow and intentional, but at a comfortable pace that works for you as you relax more and more. Inhaling and exhaling. Just breathing in and out. And with each breath that we draw and then release, we become more and more relaxed. And as you imagine your body becoming more and relaxed, imagine your consciousness, your presence, your essence, almost feel like it's awakening as the body relaxes. Since this is a somewhat guided meditation, you don't have to worry about thoughts coming in and out, that fighting that many of us may have when we're by ourselves. Just allow the tones of my voice or the images going through your mind to just have a natural course through your thought process, because we are inviting the energy in our minds. We are inviting an alertness to a consciousness, to our consciousness, and to how that consciousness is integrating with all other consciousnesses. So every breath brings you almost away from your physical body, but it brings you up into a headspace of presence. Imagine that essence of who you are rising out and just coalescing as whatever you would imagine a beautiful dream looks like. One that makes us feel safe, one that offers us insight, one that shows us another beautiful way of being, or may answer a question we may have. However that dream looks, does it look like a little movie? Does it look like a beautiful cloud? This is your dream. Your dream of your essence. Your dream of who you are without your physical limitations. Imagine that dream just being formless, but comforting. Safety inspiring. And most importantly, creativity inspiring. The dream is our imagination for ourselves. essence is a dream. Our being is in our imagination. Our world, our reality is our being that comes from our thoughts. Just imagine it glowing with beautiful iridescent light from within. It's our dream. However it looks, however it has taken shape. But what we know more than anything is that our dream is our essence. We and our essence are our dream. Whatever we dream. And so let us, in this space where we are imagining that essence, let us bring our attention back to the card of the rebel. And we may not remember the details of the card, although it is posted on the screen to look at if you feel the need to remember, but if you can remember from your mind's eye, that is just fine. If you want to stay in this beautifully safe and relaxed position, let's think of that card, the Rebel. As we do, I'm just going to say and assert some of the themes, the words that indicate the theme of this card for us tonight. Those words strike at the meaning and the relevance and the transformative power of this card. So either look at the card if you would like, or glance at it and then kind of catch it in your mind's eye. And just relax and allow your essence to respond to how these words make you feel, or how you think you might apply them to your day-to-day life. Just relax. As these words just float in space alongside us, like the word enlightenment. Enlightenment. Truth. Truth. awareness. Rebel. Courage. 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 Truth. Knowing. Courage. Truth. Emperor. Master of our being. Courage. Bravery. Bravery and courage. Truth. Bravery, courage, and awareness. Rebel. Knowing. Self. Emperor. Mastery. How do those words make you feel when you know they apply to your reading for you this evening? You have courage. You have mastery over yourself. You have awareness and alignment. You have hope because you are fully you. You have love because you are fully you. You have joy and authenticity because you are really you. abundant, immortal, abundant opportunity magic, patience, discernment, responsibility. Responsibility. All of our essences in this space understand that our own joy, our own enlightenment is our responsibility to claim. That's all. Just claim it. No matter what. Let's just for a moment open up our consciousness to whomever may be with us in real time here in this meeting, on this Zoom or watching on YouTube, or anytime throughout the day we might connect in a way that helps us to understand one another better. Imagine that consciousness moving in a swirling circle, all of us in the same space, all of us seeking that connection. Now that we've had a chance to just make ourselves aware of consciousness, whether it is part of the live stream or part of the future viewers or listeners, we feel confident. We can remember this card. We are excited to get back there and be the rebel that we have always known we could be. Not for its own sake, but because it is the way, the only way, to abolish fear and to embrace our total being, no matter what happens. Let us traverse that little veil that takes us back into our material world. We've journeyed together, we've journeyed far, and yet have stayed very close as well. And so as the tone in its solid and steady state rises into the air, catch on to that breathing that has held us and sustained us during our time in the ether. We just kind of catch onto it like we would a kite tail. And we're breathing and we're breathing and we're aware that we're breathing. And we're going to come back to our bodies in full. So we can imagine ourselves kind of dissolving back in. We're going to take 3 quick breaths. We're going to keep our eyes closed for the first one and open on the last one. So let's inhale quickly and exhale. Again, inhale And exhale. One last breath where we open our eyes. Inhale. Exhale. There you have it. Just going into that trance-like state with those words, those strengthening words: enlightenment, responsibility, truth, awareness, courage. Absorb them into that ethereal essence, bring them back into our bodies so that we get to know what they feel like, so that we can sleep beautifully, or maybe you're listening to this as you wake up, or wake up and face and experience our world. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? We bloom where we are planted, and we are planted where we bloom. So thank you so much for taking the journey, for making time for the journey, and for making the journey whatever you needed it to be for you in that beautiful, etheric, meditative space. I'm glad you're here. Let's do what we do at this time, and let's send those intentions out into the flames. Whatever we set, Rebel's the answer. How is Rebel going to appear to us in our lives in the coming week? And I really, if you're going to come regularly, if this is part of your practice, share that with us. Share it in the comments section of wherever you're watching from, although we had trouble with Facebook Live tonight, so I think we're only hitting YouTube, but tried to steer us all there. But again, hit like and subscribe. I'm still working on reminding myself to share that with everybody, to hit like and subscribe. It's so important. But also to share what you're going through, whether it was tonight's journey or what you experienced over the last week as you reflected on the previous week's journey. So here's mine first. I'm going to send mine out first. Just get it out of the way. Get it out there in the universe. Carve a space for it, right? And we'll get everybody's. There it goes. There it goes. Beauty is beauteous. Here, my friends, see for yourselves, says everyone's intentions. These are all of the intentions that may or may not have happened yet, that are part of the past, present, and future, that is this moment. It is your intention and mine. Away it goes as I let it out into the universe. With love, with respect, with joy, with understanding. And so it is, right? So it is. So I know we are not on Facebook because we had some issues. Actually, it is on Facebook, but somehow I could only make it private. I could not unprivatize it. So work on that for next week. Must have been in a new update or something. So who's here? I know Sue's on Zoom. Hello, Sue. Let's check Sue's on the YouTubes. Who's on the YouTubes today? And if you're there again, say hi. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you're feeling. Let me know what you have experienced during this time together. There's Kathleen. Yay. Ria's there. I love you. I love you all. Now, just a word about truth. So truth is been on my mind because my friend Hillary and I just did a supersized episode of our podcast and YouTube show, Spilling the Spirituality. Truth was a discussion. We got real. We shared truth that we have experienced in our time together, and things that were not always so easy, but were always beautiful and evocative and transformative. And the the three that are here with me in real time tonight also have experienced this sense of truth, but it does bring some complexities to it. And in the end, it is our own truth that sets us free, despite the fact that it can also hurt in the short term. So check out those episodes of Spilling the Spirituality. I'll put the link in the comments before. I also invite everybody to check out the podcast. We've had the video available for a while. We've really started to try to push the podcast because so many of us like to listen to podcasts as we're walking our dogs or working out in the gym. So check out the podcast as well. I'll put them on the link. I'm not worried about sending you guys off. So thank you so much for joining. Truth is the word. Responsibility is the word. Enlightenment is the word. And rebelliousness against anything that would drag us and keep us from our truest self. And that's the part that only we know. That's the voice that only we hear. And it is the voice that has always had our backs, no matter what we've told ourselves. That voice that has brought us here tonight is the voice that we always want to rely on. So thank you for helping me get to my own voice tonight. I love you all. Have a wonderful, beautiful October evening, and I will see you here next week for sure. Check out some of the other things going on the website at thespiritualspinster.com. And again, drop a line, write a comment, and keep in communication. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Good